Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to continue our discussion about drawings, different tricks and trades. We had been talking about contour drawings, and the importance of contour drawings is to learn how to create line, how to make proportions correct of the objects you're drawing. So our next assignment thing we're going to be talking about is how to do shading. So now that you know how to create proportions, how to do line, and lay out the whole photograph, we need to talk about shading. So for shading, yet again, for the contour drawings, we've been talking about drawing lightly using harder pencils like the H's and stuff. So with shading, you need to lay out a drawing again of I would start out with something like a still life or so, and then we'll talk about shading. So it's important to lay it out. You're drawing like a contour drawing with a hard layering, with a hard lead, and then we will go on to do shading. With shadings, you want to use B pencils like B2, B3, B4, and B5. Now, one of the things important to remember about shading is you want to do it gradually. That is some of the problems with beginners. They get all excited and still get really heavy-handed, and they make things too dark too fast. So you want to build up the drawing as a whole instead of building up certain segments. So try to build it up as a whole. So I'm going to draw a circle here, and I don't know how dark it'll show up on here, so afterwards I'm going to do it with the Sharpie to talk some first things about shading. So like I have this circle here. Another important thing while I'm doing this is remember, always draw with sharp pencils, because a dull pencil doesn't make nice, precise lines. I'm very OCD, so I'll sharpen a bunch up at one time. So I got my crazy zigzag circle. I'm going to draw two circles because I am going to talk the difference importance about shading. So with this first circle, when you go about doing shading, to make objects on a two-dimensional surface look more three-dimensional, you need your shading to kind of go along with the contours of the lines. So if you shade things or make marks going straight up and down like this, it still looks kind of flat. So when you're doing shading like that, you don't want that because it makes your object look flat. So you want to think about the contour of the shape. This is a circular shape, so you want things to be kind of contoured like the shape. So for hatching and cross hatching, which this is, you want the lines to kind of go with the contour of the shape. And if we do cross hatching, put it like this. And the closer the lines are together, the darker they will see, but you want to do it like it's the contour. So I'm not sure how well that shows up, so I'm going to do it down here below with a Sharpie. That way I know you can see it. So if I do shading like this, it looks flat. So you want your shading to be more like the contour, the idea of the object. It helps give it this illusion of being round. So you see the difference between the two. So whenever you're drawing, getting the contour shape or whatever, so like if it's a bottle, a round vase, bottle, whatever, think about the contour. So you want your shading to go kind of like the contour of the shape. That way it helps make it feel more round. So hatching and cross hatching and stuff, it's a way to shade when you're doing like a pen or a Sharpie. So making the lines fluid and more round will help. So it's important tips to remember when you're doing this. Now, another thing with shading is you don't want to shade with your fingers. Your fingers have these natural oils and stuff in them. So if I was rubbing this to smooth this out with my finger, it could damage the paper and make the drawing icky. So you want to use things like these tarlatan things. They're really cheap. They last a long time. This one I use for color. It's blue. This one's got a little yellow on it and some black. But I have a whole bag of these. And they come in different shapes and sizes and different types. And with different types of points and stuff on them. So they're really important for shading. Also, another thing you can use for shading is your toilet paper. And you can wrap toilet paper around different objects and stuff will help with shading. So I want to show you some things with that. So let's draw another circle. So if I have a circle here, I can start by making some areas lightly dark, and I go back in with one of these tarlatans, and I follow the contour. Okay. Also, if you do it kind of in a circular motion, will help give a nicer gradient. And then because I'm using a ebony, which gives you a nice round of darks, a 6B, 8B, a 9B is kind of like butter, and it'll do the same thing. So I just use a little bit, and I'm doing a circular motion, and I drag it out like so to help create a gradient. And yet you see I'm following the contour of the shape as I move out, and it makes it lighter. Then I go back in with this to make an area more darker. And then I can go back in with these tarlatans and make more of a gradient to light and dark. So also, when you're thinking about shading objects and stuff, think about the light source. So the way this one's going, the light source is coming down from this angle. So this is the dark, this is dark. This will be the lightest area, and this is the darkest. To help add, like this is sitting on something, I might want to put a shadow, and yet you see I can just drag with this tarlatan the shadow of the lips of the circle out, like so, to make it look darker. And I go back in, and if you shade with your pencil in a rounded motion, it also will help smooth it out. And there's other things to remember, like if you're using colored pencils, doing it in a rounding motion will help. So like I said before, you can also use toilet paper. You can wrap it around your finger, or if you want toilet paper and you want like a little fine, wrap it in the pencil or something to help do a fine. So if you don't have tarlatans, you can use toilet paper the same way. And you can just use your finger, like I said, you can wrap it on your finger the same way to create shadows. So some of the key things to remember about shadows is you want it to, you don't want to use your finger because of the oils, it'll muck it up. And remember, with shadows, you want to do a contour drawing. You want to understand the contour and understand which way the light source is going to, and you want to do the shading like you're going around a contour. And as you can tell, you don't need a lot of black. So if you're using a really soft lead like this ebony pencil, you can really push that out and make it dark. So that is about values and the importance of value. So one more thing I want to talk to you about before I end this video is, well, there's two more things. Some different exercises you can do. I mentioned a little bit before about those. So to help practice with your drawing, it's tedious work, but it'll help you get better at drawing, is if you had some paper and you draw some lines going from dark to light, dark to light, dark to light. So basically, a little bit of pressure, a lot of pressure, a little bit of pressure, a lot of pressure, a little bit of pressure, a lot of pressure, and try to make them go down as straight as you can. Another one with this type of technique is go a lot of pressure, little space, a lot of pressure, little space, a lot of pressure, little space. And you practice doing it over and over and trying to make the lines as straight as you can. Dark to light, space, dark to light, space, dark. And practicing this will help you understand and hold the pencil correctly for you to learn how to make dark to light lines. Also will help you, like I said, with pressure, knowing that you can draw with an 8B pencil, knowing you can draw it light enough that you can erase the lines. Because remember, I talked to you about, if you bear down too hard, you won't be able to erase. So this is a good practice to help you to get better at holding the pencil, about how much pressure you need to make a light line. A light line, you don't need very much pressure at all. That's one of the mistakes young artists have. They think they gotta go like this to make a line. That'll never erase. I also broke my lead, which dulls my pencil. But you don't have to have, not even me putting all the pressure on it. It makes it too dark. Instead, you just need gradual light lines. Whenever I draw, barely hold the pencil. You want light, beautiful lines. So, you want to go light to dark, light to dark. So remember that. Practice some of these skills. That'll help you improve your drawings. I know they seem tedious, but the more time you do in art, the more time you do practicing something, the better you get. It's one of the main things about drawing or any craft is practice. The more you do, the better you get. I've been drawing and painting stuff for many, many, many years. Professionally, I've been doing it probably maybe 20 years, something like that. But we all start out, you have to learn the basics. So key things to remember about shading is you want to follow the contour, not to use your bare fingers. Either use toilet paper or these tarlatans. When you do shading, if you do it in a circular motion, it makes it smoother. So these are things to remember. Anyways, I hope you're having a good day or good night, and I will talk to you soon. If you have any questions, please, please, please let me know. Thank you. Bye-bye.